Hello to all my lovely friends. So wonderful that you are here today to join me in some yoga movement. And today we are going to practice back bends. Lots and lots of back bends. So get ready to open up your heart, both physically and possibly emotionally, and find our way into these deeper back bends as the next 10 to 15 minutes progress. Okay, so starting with 2 blocks, if you have them. If you don't, you can also use a rolled up towel, which can be really nice. Let's go right here, baby. And so the goal of the first block is to place it right underneath the shoulder blades. So you'll notice when you lay down, there's this really sweet spot where your shoulder blades can sort of fall around top at the edge of the block. And then the back of your head can come either down to a blanket, a block, or a pillow. And instead of bringing your palms down, let's open up the arms into cactus arms. So you may need to move the block around a little bit to find that sweet spot where you can find a curve in the mid-thoracic spine. And start to take deep and slow and steady breaths here. I'm going to move mine up just a little bit. And maybe you don't need the block underneath the head if you'd like to go into a little bit deeper of a back bend. And keeping all your awareness on your breath and your nervous system. The slower and fluid-like breath you can do here, the more you can enter into the parasympathetic mode, where your body feels safe and is able to open up just a little bit deeper. If you'd like, you can reach your legs out long, just being very cautious of the back and how it feels, not doing anything that takes you too deep, too fast. Because if you're like me, and I'm sure you are, you want to be walking until you're really, really old. And our spine is really important for that. So we want to be gentle with our spine. We don't want to push ourselves too quickly. And so after your last breath, find your way back up. And draw your knees up into your chest and just sit up with a straight spine for a moment. Okay. And now before going into deeper back bends, bringing our right arm up, bending at the elbow. And if you can, pushing the back of your hand right there into the mid-back in between the shoulder blades. If you're not able to go that far, that's okay. And then with your opposite hand, bring it to your elbow. And instead of just hunching over here, really think about opening up. And your head is equally pushing back into the arm. So we're feeling a stretch all the way from the armpit along the length of the bicep and the tricep. And I'm pulling the elbow down. So the elbow is pulling down, the head is pushing back. And then exhale, release. And maybe a little shoulder roll before switching sides. Left arm reaches up, bending at the elbow. Other arm reaches overhead to find the elbow. And take your time, softening the space over the rotator cuff. Oh. Can you push your head back a little bit more? Exhale, opening back up, shoulder rolls backwards and forwards. Okay, we're going to come into a few rolling bridges from here. So coming all the way down to our back, pressing our heels down into the ground, knees pointing up. Our arms can be down by our sides. And before we lift up, really push the heels down into the ground so your toes might even point up. And then inhale, lift the hips an inch or several inches. Notice here how strong your thighs are and your glutes. We don't want to have a lazy bum. We want to engage to lift the hips a little higher. And then exhale, lower. And remembering how strong our glutes and thighs were, maybe dropping the soles of the foot down or keeping the toes lifted. It's up to you, wherever you are. Inhale, lift again. This time your arms reach up and overhead. Once you feel nice and lifted, exhale, come all the way back down, rolling bridges. Inhale, lifting back up, and like I said, feet can be down or heels down as long as you're using your legs and your butt. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Feet together, knees go wide, reclined butterfly. And then drawing your knees back up to face the ceiling, walking your feet in a little bit closer to your torso. Hands come back down. This time we're going to go into a bridge, no more rolling. So inhale, lift the hips 1 vertebrae at a time. And if this feels okay, maybe you begin to shimmy the shoulders a little bit closer together, 1 at a time, until you can interlace your fingers underneath your back. Strong legs here. And keeping the back of your head down on the ground, not moving around. Slowly, maybe the chest begins to draw into the chin. Chest to chin for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, lower. Releasing everything back, windshield wiper the knees over and over again. Hi, Camel. Can you move out of the way, Papa? Hi. All right, so we're gonna find out what we were doing with our legs during that first bridge. We're gonna find our block again and place it right in between our thighs, and it's gonna be in the middle setting for me. Some of us might need the skinnier setting. You'll notice, just depending on how far away your hip anatomy is from each other. I've had 2 children, so my hips are wider apart. Squeezing the block on the middle setting. Inhale, lifting back up into bridge. Shimmy the shoulders, leaning over to the left and the right until I find my hands. And squeezing the block, pushing the hips up. Notice how this might feel different in the low back. Building strength here. 1 more breath. Exhale, releasing everything back down to the ground, moving the block out of the way, and you can either windshield wiper the legs or come into reclined butterfly. So let's do 1 more bridge. This one's going to be the deepest one we've done. Maybe the block is in between your legs if you still need it. Interlace the fingers under the back and breathe and elongate. So we're not just crunching up into that low back, because that's really easy to do. Our work is to really draw that chest forward, reaching, elongating the spine, stretching out the front body. 1 more breath. Exhale. Okay. So take a moment, talk to your low back. How's it feel? Is it ready to go a little further? Because if it is, we're going to come into wheel using our blocks and a wall. So if you're ready to play with wheel, bringing your blocks to the wall like this gives us a little bit more space for our shoulders and our wrists to work into. Because sometimes what's hard to do in wheel is finding that openness right here in the forearm. And so when we have the blocks here, we come back down to our backs. And we wrap our fingertips right underneath the bottom edge of the block while our heel of our hand is pushing into the middle side. And I'm going to walk myself a little bit closer. Head right in between the blocks. Once you're pushing down, lift the hips. Keep pushing your hands, the heel of your hands into the block, maybe even wrapping your fingers a little tighter, and maybe rolling onto the top of your head. This might be as far as you go. This is great. Hold this. If you want to go a little deeper, start to push your hands into the blocks, straightening the arms as much as you can, and keep pulling your chest forward. And take 5 breaths here. Working on finding a nice curvature in the mid back, not just that low back. And then exhale, coming back the way you came up, down to the top of the head, rolling all the way down, and then resting on your back for a moment. So we're going to do one more back bend. Maybe you use the blocks again. So you can use the blocks again for one more wheel if your forearms are feeling like they were a little tight, or if you'd like to come down to the wall, come all the way down to your mat. This time your hands come onto the outsides of your head, right near your ears. Fingertips will be pointing towards your heels. Once again, lift the hips. Push yourself so you can come onto the top of your head. And then if you're able to, push really, really hard into the ground to straighten your arms. Strong legs. My legs are just as strong as my arms are. Maybe a little stronger. 50-50. The glutes are activated. I'm not letting them be lazy. Engage the glutes about 50%. And we'll breathe here for 5 breaths. If you can't make it to 5, come down whenever you need to. Exhale, top of the head, roll the knees forward, scoot, scoot, scoot. Windshield wiper. Okay. That's a lot of wheels. That's a lot of bridges.
Now I'm about to do a few more back bends, and please listen to your body before continuing, because if your back is tired, no need to go on. Come back another day and try again.
And now coming to our knees for camel pose, just to go a little bit into a different back bend. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, 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 finding length along the spine all the way up, and then bringing your hands to your low back, pushing the hips forward. Breathing here. Maybe you keep pushing the hips forward with your hands. Maybe you reach back for tucked feet. And then exhale, pushing yourself back up, coming to a seat. Lots of back body opening. I can feel a little bit of shakiness in my body. My nervous system is starting to fire up. It's kind of feeling nervous, scared. You might be feeling the same. The beauty of yoga is you can be present right now to feel your feelings. So it's interesting what comes up. Okay, let's do one more camel. In this camel, maybe you hold back on the low back, maybe you reach back for the feet, or if you'd like to go a little bit further, reaching for the insides of the knees. Before you do anything, before leaning back, lift the rib cage up. Push the hips forward. Rib cage lifts. Hips forward. Let's do one more lift. Hips forward. Lean back, maybe one at a time or both at a time. Find your feet if that's where you're going. If you want to go a little deeper, walk the hands in, up the calves for the insides of the knees. Strong, strong front thighs. And then maybe you come down an inch or so and then push yourself back up. Moving with your breath, just doing a few pulses here. One more. And then pulling back up. Lifting all the way back from whatever camel version you went into. Crossing the ankles, coming all the way to a seat. Feet come forward. Straight spine. And since we're not doing any more back bends, we can end with a nice, gentle forward fold. Having our knees go wide. Wrapping our arms around our thighs and just letting our head fall wherever it can. Really slowing down your breath here. Immediately I can start to notice a shift in my nervous system. I'm starting to calm down. I'm starting to feel more peace. What do you notice in your body? My exhales lengthening even longer with every breath. Take your inhale so deep and hold at the top. Exhale slowly. And maybe you stay here, maybe you start to lengthen the legs slightly. Keep your arms wrapped around your legs though, belly to thighs. The forehead or the chin resting on the knees. And we're gonna take a few breaths here, breathing in for 3, 2, 1, hold. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. Softening exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. And then going to whatever breath feels normal for you right now. And slowly unfurling one vertebrae on top of the next. Reaching your legs long, a little bit of cycling, shuffling here. Thank you so much for joining me on this back bending journey. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Namaste.